Hello, welcome back on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cici and we're getting ready to take a special look at my TBR. I usually have very elaborate TBRs and I just wanted to make it a little bit more fun by looking at that first sentence and trying to predict what rating I'm going to give that book based on just that first sentence. So I don't know which book we're talking about. I just have a list of the first sentences here. We're just gonna give him a rating. And actually, these ratings are going to determine my reading order for this month. So everything that I read 5 stars, I'm gonna have to read first. The only exception to that rule is the books that are for the Ally-a-thon that is happening at the end of the month. I'm going to be putting them in the right order, but I'm going to only order them up after May 17th so that I can read them during the readathon, obviously, because that's what I picked them for. Now I would love it if you want to follow along, grab a pen and paper, or just open that comment section while you're watching and just follow along and rate these, give your own prediction to these ratings. I would totally be super stoked to know how you would rate these sentences. Also give me your opinion if you completely differ from my opinion, or if you have the same opinion. Also, I would really love to know if there's any book that you want to read now based on that first sentence, or that you're completely put off based on the first sentence. If you want to know which books I'm talking about and which books are on my TBR, go into the description box. There is the list of all the first sentences, and then it has the name of the book right after the quote. Obviously, I don't have the name of the book up here because I shouldn't be knowing that. All right, so let's get another sip of tea and get started. Number 1. The dissolution of any monastery or convent is something to be lightly undertaken. This has quite a it has a little bit more of a poshy, I don't know, there's this like, it doesn't feel like young people talking to each other. It is more of an elder writing down, like, I don't know. It gives me an old feeling. This can go either way. I'm assuming that this is going to be fantasy. I'm going to give this a 3.5. I just feel like I do want to know more about why. Like, first of all, we're talking about the dissolution of a monastery. Why, and why shouldn't it be lightly undertaken? Like, what are the risks that you are not telling us about right now? Are you going to tell us about the risks in the first paragraph? What are we going to learn? But then I'm not super stoked about it. The next one. People think blood red, but blood don't got no color. And I had this on my last month's TBR. I'm expecting a 4-star read for this one. I am feeling African American language here. And I'm feeling history, like historical fiction. I have so many books on my TBR, but there's very limited with that because we have Asian Pacific Heritage Month and then the Ally-a-thon. So I have a little bit more limited things that would include African American language. But we're not here to guess the book. I think my TBR shelf life with physical books hasn't been that full in a while, but let's move on. Once upon a time in a land quite far away, snow was falling heavily from the dark sky, blanketing the land of Splinterfell in white. I have a feeling that I should know which book that is, and I'm not sure what to think. It feels very fairy tale-y in a way. It feels very whimsical in a way. Let's give this could be a 3.5 or 4. Let's give it a 3.5 as well. So this one is a little bit hard because usually I'm not that much into the fairy tale-y stuff, but I feel like this month I might be. So this could rank a little bit higher than 3.5, but let's just go by the way it's written. It feels a little bit, I don't know. When I got back to HAveRatton Station, a bunch of humans tried to kill me. Okay, so the station could be something like a subway station or a train station, but it also could be a space station. Humans try to kill me would imply that the author, the speaker, the narrator is not human, and I'm loving that, so I'm giving it a 4.5. We're also right set up that into the action of saying, okay, right away people are trying to kill our narrator. That's going to be interesting. Next, I've had clients who thought they needed an absurd level of security. Okay, I'm getting kind of funny vibes from this. I'm getting a writing style that is a little bit leaning on the funny absurd, but not really. It's just this underlying I'm not taking everything too seriously, but I'm going to tell a serious story kind of way, and I'm digging that, so I'm giving this 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I'll know it's working when he starts to scream. Oh damn, oh alrighty, okay. So that sounds like somebody wants to torture somebody. Okay, so I don't know. Am I up for that kind of book? I mean, it could be a scream of pleasure as well. I mean, why do I instantly go to torture and not pleasure? Well, potentially because I usually have the torture kind of book on my TBR. It sounds a little bit harsh and direct, and I can see an appeal to it, but I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars because I feel like I might not be up for that, like, crass, gory, direct book. Although I'm super hyped for all of the books on my May TBR, more than the past months, so I don't know what to think. The lunch hour in the coworkers cafeteria at Frankenbergs had reached its peak. So that does not sound like fantasy. That could be contemporary, but that could also be sci-fi. The lunch hour in the co-workers cafeteria at Frankenbergs had reached its peak. It's kind of boring in a way for the first sentence. Let's give it 3 out of 5 stars. What is the most embarrassing thing you have ever done for love? I don't know. I'm already bored. This has to be a love story. Although I have a feeling that I have one love romancy book on my TBR just based on this. Although there is a hint of sass and a little hint of fun. I was about to give it 2.5 just because I thought romance, but let's give it a 3 because it has a little bit of a funny vibe to it. From the divine pen fell the first drop of ink. I don't know. This is interesting as well. I'm not sure about this either. I'm not sure what this wants to tell me. Fell the first drop of ink from the divine pen. So there's like a holy pen or something for a holy scripture, potentially. Let's give it a 3.5. I'm so pumped about this TBR, but I don't have a 5-star yet. This is an update from the Goran Orbital Cooperative regarding satellite network coverage between the hours of 600 and 1800 today, 236/307. So we're starting with like an update message. This is obviously sci-fi, the satellite network coverage, etc. I mean, this could also be dystopian, like we have an apocalypse or something right now, but I'm getting more sci-fi vibes, and I'm giving this could be a 5-star, but just based on the first sentence. I do like that they're starting with this type of like message. It's potentially in like a memo form or something. Let's go out and give it a 5-er. She slowed down her steps until she came to a complete halt. Okay, I have a feeling that this might be more historical fiction. We're building up slowly. We're getting to know somebody. Let's give this a 3.5. I'm just getting slow vibes, and that can be good, but it could bore me this month as well. Marsh struggled to kill himself. Okay, we're right on the money here. We're right in the story. Somebody wants to kill themselves, but they're obviously not succeeding very much. I think that is a very strong start because I'm right away intrigued. I right away want to know what's going on. So let's give that a 4.5 or 5. What do you think? What do you think? Let's give it a 4.5. XX. So I blanked something out because it would have given something away. Held the small fluttering piece of paper pinched between two fingers. A small... I have to like visualize this to judge this sentence. Held the small fluttering piece of paper pinched between two fingers. It gives me also some historical vibes, but it could be, and honestly this could be any genre, but somehow this is giving me historical vibes. I'm just gonna write this down with a question mark, historical. So when I am doing my wrap up, I can see if I was right and thinking this is historical. I'm kind of liking it, but it's also, this can pick up now and this can fall flat. I like the way that, I do like the writing style. Small fluttering piece of paper pinched between two fingers. It's kind of lyrical without being too flowery and overbought. So let's give this 4. Let's give this a 4. By the time school ends on Tuesday, my mother has died 17 times. Say what? My mother has died 17 times? So we might have an overly dramatic kid here. Or a very interesting fantasy. I'm guessing the first. Let's see. I'll put that down. Overly dramatic kid, question mark. This can go really funny, I think. Let's just give this a 5 for the heck of it, because we haven't given a lot of 5 stars yet, and we do need some 5 stars. I had a great time tonight, Zay Wagner said as he walked Avery Fuller to the door of a family's penthouse. This seems more of contemporary. This could obviously be science fiction as well. I doubt fantasy. Because we're talking about a penthouse. I'm not so sure about this. It feels very YA the way it's written. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that Zay and Avery are teenagers. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I could love this, but I'm just getting 3-star vibes. The Scopuli had been taken 8 days ago, and Julie Mao was finally ready to be shot. Wait, what? She was ready to be shot? I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Which book is this? I want to know which book it is right now. I'm giving this 5 stars because I want to read this right now, because I want to find out why she was ready to be shot. Like, what's going on? Something was taken 8 days ago and now she's ready to be shot. Like, do we need to know right now? I think yes. Okay, next. I strained to listen for boots on the pavement. Ooh, that feels very military. Like boots, like military boots, like soldiers, hearing soldiers. I have, again, no idea which book that could be, but I'm getting anxious reading this sentence. Let me know how you feel when you hear that sentence, but I strained to listen for boots on the pavements. That gives me anxiety in a weird way, and I am here for it. This could be a book that emotionally catches me, so, but I'm not feeling like immediately yes vibes, so let's give it a 4.5. Oh dear, Linus Baker said, wiping the sweat from his brow. I have a feeling by now that I know which book this is based on having had this on my TBR a couple of times. But I still think that the first sentence might not be as strong as the rest of the book. It gives a little premise into something happening where our main character might be overwhelmed with something, or something might not go the way that they want. But I just feel like it's not the strongest first sentence out there. Let's give it a 3.5. George Henry, get up at once. That is in the action. I am liking it. Is this a 4 or is this a 5? This is very actiony, very like, ooh, something's happening right now. Let's give it a 5er because I feel like, ooh, I need to know why they need to get up right now. She would come at daybreak, the woman whose letter I held in my hands, the woman whose name I did not yet know. Oh, that sounds a little lyrical, that sounds a little romantic, that sounds a little dreamy, a little historical fiction-y. I'm getting soft and cozy and also older vibes. I'm digging it, but it's not an immediate, oh my gosh, I need to know. So let's do 4 for this one. A sickening silence reigns in the house of death. Ooh. Ooh, okay, strong words in the first sentence. A sickening silence reigns in the house of death. If I would be reading horror, that's probably what I would expect. But here I'm expecting wartime. I'm potentially expecting a hard-hitting historical fiction, potentially. I mean, obviously this could be fantasy as well, but yeah. So let's give this 3.5, simply because I feel like this could be a 5-star. It's a strong start, but I also feel like it is very present, very strong in coming into my, like, bringing death into my living room right with the first sentence. I feel a little bit overwhelmed, so I'm taken aback a little bit. The dead human was lying on the deck on their side, half curled around. Again, we have a dead human right away, but here we again have a human. So I'm assuming potentially the narrator is an alien or a robot, both of which might work with my TBR and my liking to read science fiction. It's not as strong as the other one where I would have expected a robot or an alien. But I feel like this could be a 4-star. I'm not giving out 2.5 stars, I feel like, today, because I am so pumped about this TBR that I feel like there cannot be 2.5 stars. But I should just be judging the first letter. My sister Kwan believes she has yin eyes. So, this is obviously about some Asian. Kwan is an Asian name, I believe, and yin eyes are Asian. So that is pretty clear. We're talking about the sister and believes she has yin eyes. So does she not really? And what about the narrator? But I also feel like this isn't giving me much as in terms of a first sentence. The second sentence needs to be really strong to pull me in, but I'm a little bored, to be honest. I'm gonna give this 3. And I totally am in the mood to read something with like Asian background and something, but I cannot judge a book just because I know it's science fiction or I know it's about an Asian. It's about the first sentence here. We shouldn't be doing this, Daji said. This feels very, very young and YA or middle grade, but then I also had this on my TBR in the past where I'm pretty sure that I didn't have much like YA middle grade on. So again, I am assuming something that I shouldn't be assuming. If I just go by this first sentence, I'm a little bit intrigued what they're trying to do. What is the mischief that they have planned? Let's give it the 3.5. I have a feeling I'm going to be really surprised and this is going to be amazing, but just based on the first sentence, I feel like this could be stronger. The war bean, when our great-grandfather was forced to leave his home, the war beamed. I think I typed that wrong. When our great-grandfather was forced to leave his home, and it will continue until we return and regain our place in honor. So if this would be nonfiction, I potentially would like it more, but I'm pretty sure that I don't have nonfiction on my shelf that could start like this. Okay. I don't know. This kind of bores me a lot for a... Let's give it 2.5. Let's give this one the 2.5. Next, I killed Mikey. Coming straight with a confession. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I am liking it, coming straight with a confession. Let's give it a 5. Let's just do it and give it 5. Mom, Dad and I got off the bus somewhere in New York City and it looked like all the people in Philadelphia times 10 had been dumped on each block. Okay, this is very, very likely middle grade because we have a child's perspective, or more of a child's perspective. So I feel like the writing style, this can be taken into consideration. And setting the scene, it feels very overwhelming, very like I feel New York City when I'm reading this, simply with very, very little stylistic and like words needed. I can hear that it's loud, that it's a lot of people, and I am liking this, so I'm giving this 4.5. And last but not least, this is already the last one. Yes, okay. The day that changed my life was like every other day before it, except that it changed my life. Oh, bam, yes, I love this. I love this writing style. It is cute and sassy and smart and funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Oh, I'm giving this another 5. This is so 5 stars. The day that changed my life was like every other day before it, except that it changed my life. Come on, come on. That is some wit that I enjoy. I'm here for that kind of smartass, whimsical. No, it's not really whimsical, but there's a smartass narrator, and I'm here for that. I'm ready for that type of character. That's already it. I feel like I've been rating them a little bit better in terms of like the lower ratings, but I don't have that many high ratings. But I'm so pumped for my TBR. You can see what I'm expecting back here. I obviously have a couple of more ebooks and audiobooks, but most are actually, I do have physically this month. I'm super excited for this. If you want to see a couple of books that I have picked and why they're on my TBR, I do have a TBR game that completely Melanie helped me create. Actually, she created and I adapted it. It's like mostly just her ideas. If you want to see some of the books and learn a little bit more about the books that I picked, go watch that TBR. And other than that, wait for the wrap up and I will talk about the books a little bit more and see if my rating was right. Now I hope I see you all during the Ally-a-thon, and I hope I'll see you again on my channel real soon. Until then, bye!
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause